Hey everybody, Miss Julie here, your plain English herbalist coming to you. I promised you that I would be coming back today with news and information you could use on building your immune system. Once again, I want to thank everyone who lifted me up, who prayed for me, and whose voices went to heaven to help me move and get through this COVID-19. Yes, the plain English herbalist caught the corona, y'all. Oh my goodness. But I tell you what, it was a road traveled that has brought me out on the other side, more excited about life than ever, more excited about delivering to you messages and information that you can use to stay as strong and as healthy as you possibly can. Understand something with this virus, especially. There's no cure. There's nothing that they're going to give you. God forbid you end up in that hospital room. They're giving you Tylenol, water, and food, and oxygen if you need it, and attention, just to help you to fight your way through the other side. And that is the hope. But there's no steroids, there's no medications, there's nothing that they can give you that's going to say, okay, we killed it, it's gone, go home. The way you're going home is with a strong immune system. That is what is necessary. Yes, I did get the coronavirus, but I am very, very grateful to God for the provisions that were given to me prior to getting sick. You see, I was doing the work. I was working on my immune system and strengthening it well before I was ill. And I do believe that that particular work that I was doing prior to contracting the coronavirus was instrumental in helping me to go through it and get to this side right now where I'm here to share with you. And so break out a pen and pad if you don't already have it. I got a lot of information I want to share with you because I want to break this thing down. Now, as I call myself the plain English herbalist because there are a lot of people who want to know about natural health and want to be able to do things, but it gets to be just complicated. There's a whole lot of wonderful products out, but you don't know which ones, and you don't know which brand, and you don't know whether it's sensible nutrition or if it's just trendy and hokey. See, things have to make sense to me. I'm as natural as they come. I had all of my children naturally, with no doctors, just all nurse midwives and all of that. So I am that natural chick. Yeah, and those of you who know me know that I make Color and Soul Cosmetics, which is a mineral-based makeup. So I grind my own makeup. Have it on now. This is the other part of what I do because I practice beauty from the inside out. And I wanted your makeup to be as healthy as everything else that I'm recommending. So I am your natural girl. And so doing the things that help to build and fortify your body, not just against COVID, but anything. You would be stunned at the amount of toxins, viruses, and bacteria that we're exposed to on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, there are many who believe that we are so susceptible to illnesses now because we stopped being kids that go out and play in dirt. It actually strengthens your immune system. Being, not right now, stay home, but generally being exposed to people and dirt and things like that are the things that actually contribute to you having a stronger immune system, because your immune system works by identifying bacteria, viruses, funguses, all kinds of different toxins, and then the body goes and attacks and deals with it. But here's the key. Your body remembers. It has a memory of everything that it is exposed to. And as a result, when it shows up again, you have the immunity. Understand something. In any epidemic, in any pandemic, there are three kinds of people. They are The people who get the illness and unfortunately can't get to the other side and they leave this planet. There are those like myself who get the illness and their bodies fight through it and they survive and come out on the other side. And then there's the people who don't get it at all. What is the difference between the three people? It is the strength of their immune system. One of the things that COVID helped me with was I did not know that I was in active diabetes. Notice I don't claim being a diabetic. I am not claiming that. But what was happening was my body was saying, yo, chick, you're not managing your sugar very well. You're not managing your carbohydrates efficiently. Understand something, folks. While I am cooperative with my physicians and I'm using natural means and change of diet and will be, my breath is just about back. So next week I'll add on the exercise and I'm going to do all of those right things. One of the things that Miss Julie does not do is own disease. I don't own a disease. What I do recognize is imbalance in my body. And if I recognize that imbalance, then I know that I need to feed my body in a certain way and treat my life in a certain way and make the changes that I need to make in order to bring about correction in my body. But I do not have diabetes. You do not have high blood pressure. That's ownership. I will never own a disease, and don't you either. You can acknowledge my body is saying I am not managing a sugar well. I am not managing my carbohydrates well. So I have to correct that. 1, by cutting back on the carbohydrates. 2, by timing when I eat my carbohydrates. 3, by making sure that in the presence of carbohydrates, for instance, that there is some kind of protein, fat, fiber. Why? Because it slows down how fast a carbohydrate will enter my bloodstream. And that is what helps to keep my body in balance. And that's what happens with you. On our next Wellness Wednesday, we're going to talk a whole lot more about blood sugar and how to stay in the zone and stay balanced, because that's really what your doctors are wanting. They don't want your blood sugar too low any more than they want it too high. They want it right there in that sweet spot where you're managing your energy, and which is sugar, in such a way that it is productive to your body versus being damaging to your body. Now, not knowing that I had an irregular blood sugar left me as a person who was in a high-risk category and just didn't know it. But God. See, the awesomeness is that the Holy Spirit had already started prompting me to make changes. So I was making changes anyway when the COVID found its way into my body. And I was already in a weight loss mode. I'd gone from a size 18 down to a 12. I'm on my way to a 10. And so I was already losing the weight. I was already cutting back on my carbohydrates. But my A1C and a couple of other things were still not low enough. And so that left my immune system compromised. So the work that I was doing was good work, but I had an unknown factor. And so it hit me a little bit harder than it might have had my blood sugar not been out of whack. Hope that makes sense to you. So here's what we need to do. We need to understand that your immune system is a system within your body all to itself, but it is impacted by other systems of your body and other environments. There are basically 3 environments that hurt your immune system in such a way that you are less defensive against things like viruses and bacterias and funguses, okay, that can overtake and overwhelm your body. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing. Your immune system, like I said, it has a memory. When your body attacks and kills something, that's what immunizations are about. Give you a little bit of what the illness is, let your body attack it, and then after it attacks it, it remembers. And now if that thing shows up in your body again, you naturally resist. There is a belief, particularly like with flu shots and things like that, that if you take the flu shot, you get the flu, that it makes it less severe. I'm personally not a fan, and I don't get flu shots, but I would never tell someone not to get it. That is a personal choice that's based on your body, your chemistry, your relationship with your doctor, your relationship with your God, and how you feel, what direction you ought to go. Now, if you want to have some conversation about doing some natural immunities and what course you might decide you want to take as far as that's concerned, just inbox me and we can have that conversation, okay? But for now, what I want to talk about is first things and nutritions that directly impact your immune system and help it along. One of the first ones I want to talk about is colloidal silver. Now, colloidal silver was used well before the discovery of penicillin. And it is an interesting supplement in that it has been historically known to be helpful not only with bacteria, with viruses, as well as with funguses and even burns. So in hospitals, way back in the 1st century, long before the invention of penicillin, colloidal silver was actually the go-to for all kinds of things that made you sick. It's gotten a bad rap because there are people who set out to make their own colloidal silver, and it's all electrical. There's a process, and it extracts, and then these tiny micro particles get suspended in the water, and it's done by parts per million, but it directly goes right to the cell. And there were people who were making it well-intentioned or what have you, didn't make it correctly, and people, not only that, but people overdosed on it. And unfortunately, like overdosing on beta carotene, eating too many carrots and it turns your skin orange. The same thing will happen with colloidal silver that is this homemade stuff. Be careful about that. It has to be processed in a very specific way, but because if it's not and you overdo it, it will turn your skin blue. And the difference between the blue skin from colloidal silver and beta carotene from eating too many carrots is you stop eating the carrots, your skin goes back to the normal color. You overdo it on some homemade colloidal silver, that blue skin stays blue. So join the circus and keep it moving. Won't kill you, but then your skin color will never come back. So, but again, that's based on colloidal silvers that are made, by people who don't have the proper regulation, balance, and so on and so forth. So I work with the company that makes it in the right amounts, in the right balance. This particular one is one dosage it's ionic, and one dosage is 100 micrograms. So that's a tiny amount. And I used I would take a teaspoon and swish it around in my mouth about 3 times a day. Now, you don't do this with salt water. Do not mix your colloidal silver with salt water. Salt and colloidal silver don't mix. So don't do it that way. You'll lose potency and proper activity for the silver. So yes, gargling your throat. I mean, we've talked about that in other videos. Gargling is a good idea, but do not do saltwater gargle with colloidal silver, okay? You want to swish that around, and then you want to wait a while before you do any kind of saltwater gargle. Also, supplements that help your lymphatic system are also very important. If you have any questions, by the way, this is a conversation. So if you happen to have a conversation, my son Mark is sitting here with me. He's still all masked up and everything, but he is watching for your questions and all of that. So even if I can't see them, just know that if you got a question, put it out there, and Mark's going to be checking for questions. Throw them out there, and I'll answer them as we go along, okay? So things that help to support your lymphatic system are also important. Your lymphatic system kind of runs close to the surface of your skin, but it tracks along your circulatory system, and it's making exchanges, moving bacteria and toxins and things out of your blood and cleaning and clearing your system out. And then you have these hubs called lymph nodes, and you find them at your neck, under your arm, okay, in your groin area. And these lymph nodes help to filter and flush toxins out of your system. So supplements and things like that that help to clear the toxins out of your lymph system are also very important. Now, what's also important, if you happen to be sequestered, I like that. I like that word better than quarantine. But if you happen to be quarantined with someone that you love, this is the time now to give each other massages. And nobody's saying that you have to be a total professional and you don't have to know every muscle and every tissue or what have you. But giving each other a nice rub down that keeps that circulation moving is very, very good for your immune system, because the lymph fluids run so close to the surface of your body that just even a gentle massage really helps to push those fluids and help them move around your body. The superstar Bob Hope, even to he died at over 100 years old, and he actually got massages every single day, which is probably why he lived to be over 100. So love each other. You're already inside together. So there's not that social distancing there. And so especially if you're sleeping in the same bed together, anything you're going to get, you got by now. So love on each other and give each other light 15-minute body massages. It will do wonders for your lymphatic system, which will help your immune system, okay? Vitamin D is another thing that is something that is very, very important, especially vitamin D3, very important not only for your bones, your teeth, your brain, and your immune system. Part of this staying inside is us not getting enough sunshine. Sunshine delivers vitamin D. So, yes, sunscreens are important. And you want to wear them if you know you're going to be out in the sun for an extended period of time. But what I do recommend is that you spend at least 15 minutes in the sun without sunscreen. You need to absorb the vitamin D that is from the sun. And supplementing with extra vitamin D is going to help with keeping the brain from being foggy. It's going to help you sleep better, and it's going to give a tremendous boost to your immune system. Okay. Now, for those of you who are watching, and I'm holding up little supplements and different things like that. I do private herbal consultations and can talk with you one-on-one. If that's something that you're interested in, just message me, and we will set up a time. And just know, when you become my client, when it comes to the supplementation, I do not charge retail. So whatever it costs me, that's what it costs you. This is about your health. It is part of my ministry. And so I want you to be able to invest, and it could save you, 33 to 40% rather than, and save you a trip to the store, so that, you're minimizing your exposure and different things like that. But more than anything, my commitment is to empower you with the information that you need in order to make the decisions that you need to make for yourself. And be that sounding board. I am not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, and I don't want to be your doctor. But I'm very knowledgeable and know a lot of things. And so sometimes you just need a sounding board, a discussion that helps you to understand yourself a little bit more, and maybe make a better decision about a course of action that you want to take as far as your health is concerned. So any extra information you want to have, particularly for you, just DM me and we will have that conversation, okay? Now, specific to viruses, there are also Chinese supplements that you can take that are there. See, God made 3.5 million herbs on this planet. And he said, for you, they are supposed to be both for food and for medicine. And so there is an herb for just about everything that your body needs, including giving your immune system the right kind of nutrition that allows you to fight viruses. And so there are Chinese supplements, things like that you can use that also contribute. Also, essential oils. Now, this is an amazing thing. Now, this is wild oregano. And the way that you would use wild oregano more than anything is on your feet. your feet have 10,000 pores at the soles. And so this is why you come home from a hard day at work and you soak your feet in Epsom salt, which is magnesium. Magnesium is muscle food, and it helps to relax muscles. And so you soak your feet in Epsom salt. It actually takes up trace amounts of that magnesium and helps your body to calm down and to relax and to relieve pain. Magnesium is also colon food. And so doing magnesium, consuming magnesium helps to keep your bowels moving. More on that in just a minute. But using pure essential oils now, wild oregano is very, very strong. If you use it on any other part of your body besides your feet, dilute it with a little vegetable oil, olive oil, or some kind of a carrier. Keep it away from your eyes. It is very strong. Otherwise, this is also one of the things that you can use in your steam inhalant. Use only a little bit because it's very strong, okay? 3 to 5 drops in a pan of hot steaming water is really all that you need. I particularly like to do my boiling water, set it in the sink in the bathroom, turn the shower on, and sit and create my own steam room, because the droplets in the essential oils actually rise with the steam, so it goes into your body. Essential oils is not really oil. The Egyptians called it oil because it float on water. But a true essential oil left by itself, exposed to the air, evaporates like water. It is not like olive oil or safflower or vegetable oil that'll leave a oily slick. A real pure essential oil will evaporate like water. It'll leave a stain, like whatever the color of the essential oil is. Some essential oils are yellowish or greenish, or some are blue, and it'll leave the color stain, but it will not leave an oil slick. If you use an essential oil and you put it on like a piece of blotter paper or even like a tissue paper, and it leaves an oil slick, that essential oil has been cut with a carrier. If you go to purchase essential oils, and let's say oil of rose costs the same amount as lavender, it is not pure essential oil. It takes something like 50 pounds of rose petals just to make 1 pound of rose oil. And so rose oil is one of the most expensive essential oils in the whole entire essential oil family. And so if you go into a store to purchase pure essential oils and you look and the rose oil is priced the same as the lavender oil, and the lavender oil is priced the same as neroli or one of these or jasmine, and they're all the same price across the board, it is not pure essential oil. It has been cut with some kind of a carrier. So they've cut it, and now it's grapeseed oil or jojoba oil or something like that with the essential oils in it. Not that that's a terrible thing, but it's not as potent as the pure neat oils. So be very judicious about where you get. I work with essential oils that are certified by the government of Provence in France. And so I deal with certified essential oils. You want to know more about that? DM me, we'll have the conversation. So that is specific stuff that is directly strengthening and nourishing specifically to your lymphatic and immune system. Okay? Now let's move on. The next area that is a powerful part of your immune system is your belly, your gut. 60% of your immune system is in your intestinal tract. So that means that you've got 22 feet of small intestine. Then you've got another 8 feet of colon. And within that section right here, in the center of your body, just above your navel and below, is all of the noodles and all of how your food is processed. One of the reasons why when you get sick, you lose your appetite is because digestion takes 80% of the body's energy. So the answer to, do I starve a cold and feed a fever, or do I feed a fever and starve a cold? The actual answer is starve both. In other words, fast. Stay hydrated. We're going to talk more about hydration in a minute, but stay hydrated and give the digestive tract a rest. When you do that, it allows your body to shift energy to the healing cycles of your body and make corrections and things like that. That's why we need sleep, because now while we're asleep, we're fasting. That's why when you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, because you are breaking your fast. You've been asleep. You haven't been eating. That's why when you don't get enough rest, it causes you to gain weight. Because think about it. How many times are you awake at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning? Now you want a snack. If you're asleep, guess what you're not doing? You're not eating. And so you're giving your body a chance. As a matter of fact, the definition of beauty sleep runs from 10 p.m. to about 4 a.m. This is the time when your body is really doing the corrective and healing work, because it's not doing so much work trying to digest your food and process your body's energy systems. So now your energy systems can direct itself to your immune system, to your healing functions, to your cell redevelopment and regeneration. And actually, that's why you wake up in the morning energized and refreshed, okay? So when we talk about the gut, friendly bacteria, the good guys, you have good guys and bad guys. One of the bad guys that's in your intestinal tract is known as Candida albicans. We know it very well as yeast. Yeast manifests itself mainly 3 different kinds of ways, actually 4. One, in women, we most commonly see it as vaginal yeast infection, itching, burning, white discharges, things like that. In babies, we see it as thrush, and that's that white coating on the tongue. Okay. In men, we most commonly see it as athlete's foot. What's the difference? 3 guys walk in to a shower at a gym. One has athlete's foot, the other 2 don't. One guy gets the athlete's foot, the other guy doesn't. Again, what is the difference? It has to do with the intestinal flora. It has to do with the immune system and that body's resistance to the growth of funguses. Okay? So keeping the intestinal flora healthy in your body requires probiotics. Now, probiotics come all kinds of ways. Here, I got a proactive with chia seeds. So the chia is a powerful protein, 1, a fiber, 2, and this one actually has probiotics added. So the good guys get into the stomach. Now, some of your stomach acids will kill it. So when you are purchasing a probiotic, it's better if you get one that's what's called enteric coated. An enteric coated probiotic means that the capsule is broken down by stomach acid, not water. And so when that happens, by the time that capsule dissolves, the probiotic delivers more directly into the intestinal tract. In other words, the stomach acid doesn't kill it. I know you've seen probiotics where it was like, it has 1 billion bacteria. That's necessary because stomach acids kill so much of it that you need enough of it that can get through the stomach acid in order to deliver into the intestinal tract, so that you have the defenses that you need to crowd out the bad bacteria that's in your intestinal tract. So I also found like a ginger tea. And ginger is so good for the digestion. It's really good for helping to prevent indigestion, gas. Pregnant women, there are 2 types of things that help morning sickness, as you know, as an example. Some morning sickness is really helped with peppermint tea, cooling the stomach. And some morning sicknesses help with ginger, which warms the stomach. So everybody's a little bit different and needs different things. But I was really excited that I found this ginger tea that actually has probiotics added to it. Got to be careful about heat killing it. And again, stomach acids. But these little sources like this that give you fiber as well as some probiotic activity is paramount to helping to build your immune system and help you to stay strong against whatever may come your way. Now, the next thing that you want to really work on and make sure is very clear from your system is mucus. Mucus is your body's response to inflammation, to allergens, to bacteria, and some viruses. That's one of the big problems with COVID is it actually makes you dry. And it's because the virus itself lives better in cooler, drier environments. That's why it starts incubating up in your head area, because you're breathing, and that is a constant space of dry and a cooler place. All down here, 98.6, you're a very warm being, but up in here, your head space is a lot cooler. 30% of your body heat is lost through your head. So up here is where it's a lot cooler, and viruses like COVID hang out up in this, all behind your eyes, nose is basically an open cavity with a lot of mucous membranes. So when you're breathing, it's keeping coolness going in. And if you're in a very dry environment, how many of you have awakened and your throat is dry, your nose is dry because of central heating, or like I have baseboard heaters? Makes the air very, very dry. I often sleep with my window cracked to let some humidity come into my room. But some of you live in places where the windows are shut really tight and it can get very dry, very hot. So humidifiers are a good idea to kind of keep your nasal passages and your throat moist and hydrated in a nice humid environment. And that's why doing the steaming, either by putting your face over a pot of steaming water with maybe some orange peels, or even if you took like fresh rosemary and thyme. These are aromatic herbs that really help, and they act as astringents. So they help to pull mucus and things. You'll find yourself clearing. But see, when that mucus grabs a hold and is able of that corona or other viruses, and it's able to get to your stomach, that's where it's killed with a stomach acid. What we want to avoid is allowing it to get into the main respiratory system. So if it can go down through the sinus cavity, down your throat to your stomach, where stomach acids kill it, that's a whole lot better than staying dry and allowing this stuff to build up in your head first and then drop down into your respiratory system. So keeping hydrated, drinking lots of water, especially with a squeeze of lemon, helps to thin mucus. If you do not have blood sugar problems, pineapple juice is also very good for helping to thin mucus, because it's rich in bromelain as well as in papain enzymes. And so that helps to break down mucus, as well as helping you to break your food down. It's a great, having, again, with no blood sugar problem, but having a little bit, like 2 ounces of pineapple juice on the side, is very rich in enzymes and helps with food digestion. But it also is rich in something called bromelain, which helps to thin and break down mucus, as well as being very high in vitamin C. So you want to keep mucus moving out of your system, first out of the respiratory system, and then from the colon. We're back to the intestines again. The colon and the liver also have a heavy impact on the levels of mucus that stay in your body. One of the things that I observed about myself when I was in the hospital battling COVID is I had this massive, horrible headache. I mean, they had not only bumped me up from Tylenol to another high-end drug that it was like that you generally give to people, for instance, who have rheumatoid arthritis and pain like that. And it was just like, no matter how much I took, it did no good. And nothing worked until I realized I'd been in the hospital 4 days. And here's your TMI moment. I had not had a bowel movement. And I mean, the pain in my head was just ridiculous. And it was interesting because I was talking with a nurse and I told her that I was constipated. And she said, well, I usually, if you don't go by the third day, then we do something about it. Okay, let's get very, very clear. Those of you who have children, how did you potty train? You fed the baby, you waited about 10 minutes, and you sat the baby on the pot. You did that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why? Because you were teaching the baby that the way that the process of full digestion works is meal in, meal out. That when we eat, we are supposed to eliminate. How we got to a thing where it's okay to go once a day, where it's okay to go every couple of days when you're eating 2 or 3 times a day is an adult construct of laziness and not paying attention to your body. You have now prioritized work, kids, spouses, activities, and all of that over and above your healthy intestinal habits. And in the end, it costs you. So when I was finally given something to flush my system out, guess what, y'all? Headache went away. What was going on? I was not only fighting COVID, I was fighting auto intoxication, self-poisoning. This is what's happening to you when you are not eliminating on a regular basis in the correct way. Now understand, and I know there'll be some of you say, well, that's just how my system works. No, that's how your system works now. Because if you had a baby, a tiny baby who was only having a poop diaper once every 2 or 3 days, you would have that baby at the doctor because you know inherently that is not a good thing. And so if it's not a good thing for an infant, it most definitely is not a good thing for an adult. And why do I say it that way? Because an infant is on a minimal kind of a food system, formula or breast milk. An adult is eating all kinds of foods that have all kinds of toxins left behind that need to leave your system as soon as possible. Understand, when you are in a space of auto intoxication, you are also in a space of inflammation. One of the things that COVID does is it ramps up all inflammation in your body, which is why your head hurts, your joints hurt. Everything hurts because your body is so full of inflammation. That inflammation, particularly in the respiratory system, causes the body to try and protect itself by building up fluid. And that is what fills up your lungs. So minimizing inflammation in the body, reducing toxins. Now, how do we do that? One of the herbs that's very, very good, different from senna. Be very careful about senna because it can have addictive qualities to it. In other words, you drink enough senna, you can't eliminate without it. So you want to do herbal supplements that clean the colon but build the colon too. And again, we can have this conversation offline. Just message me. We set up a consultation and we can talk about how. But one herbal that is known historically to not only clean the colon but strengthen the colon is Cascara sagrada. Now, I love Cascara. I've used it down through the years. It doesn't gripe you the way that senna will and give you those strong, heavy gas pains, but it will thoroughly clean. It causes what's called peristalsis for your colon to pump and constrict like this, and that moves all of the waste material forward. And so Cascara sagrada is an herbal that is historically known to really help to improve peristalsis. When you have these little cilia that's in your colon and they're moving like this, they're helping to move the toxins forward and out of your body. When you take chemical laxatives, it damages those nerve endings of that what's called cilia, and all of a sudden these little hair-like things that were moving everything forward sweeping like a broom, all of a sudden get damaged. And so now you're doing this instead of this, and you start having incomplete movements. And when that happens, gases build up, and all of a sudden you have blowout pockets. They call that diverticulitis. Now you have like a blowout, like a bubble in a tire. And all of a sudden now the fecal matter moves in, but all of it doesn't come out. And now you get this buildup of garbage in pockets in your colon. That's going to cause inflammation. That's going to cause mucus. That's going to cause gas, bloating, pains, and left unchecked is going to lead to colon surgery. So how do we keep them pockets clean and keep that going? The friend to your Cascara sagrada is fiber. Psyllium hulls is one of those supplements. Now there's psyllium hulls, there's slippery elm, which is gentle. So if you have an irritable kind of bowel or your system is very sensitive, I would lean to slippery elm more so than psyllium hulls. But psyllium hulls is the broom to your colon. It's coming in there and it's going to flush, it's going to absorb, and it's going to scrape, and it's going to pull those toxins out of your colon and move it out of your body. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to talk about in the fight against inflammation, mucus, and toxins is your liver. Your liver, they say if the liver is congested, you will be congested. And one of the things that I think was very helpful to me, because while I had COVID, what I didn't have was a bad cough. I did not have a bad cough. I did not have a lot of mucus, to be honest with you. What I actually had was my breathing got very, very shallow. But one of the things that I took on a regular basis and had been engaged in for several months before I got ill was a supplement that I work with that helped this is a great, huge part of your immune system. And that's your telomeres. When you're born, these telomeres are nice and long. And so as a child, you fall down, you get a scrape, you heal very quickly. Your body recovers. You're just a healing, regenerative machine. And as long as those telomeres are kept nice and long, guess what? You stay young looking, you stay youthful. I started taking this particular supplement to help to restore my telomeres. And all of a sudden people looking at me, so I said, what have you been doing? Now, y'all know I'm a skin specialist, so I had pretty decent skin to start with. So anybody who was looking at me talking about, what are you doing? I mean, you have good skin, but you having a little extra, tightening. I mean, the 30th of this month, I'll be 57 years old. And so I feel great right now as you are looking at me. I got on a little dust of powder, a little blush, some eyebrows, and some lips. That's all you got today. On Makeover Monday, we're going to do a little bit more. But right now, that's all. So the skin you see is the skin that is. And I give a lot of credit to the work that I have been doing in helping to re-strengthen and restore my telomeres. That is those things that help to keep your cells healthy, strengthen your immune system, and help your body regenerate healthy cells at a faster pace, much like when you were a baby. And so, but one of the key elements in this process is milk thistle. It really, really helps to protect your liver from everyday toxins and poisons, because that liver's got to filter all of that stuff through. We got your lymphatic system, your liver, and your kidneys that are in a constant work of cleaning toxins out of your system and then allowing it to go into the trash can or out through your urine or out through your sweat. So that's where all these toxins are leaving your body. Toxins are leaving out of your saliva, which is why the whole COVID thing and covering your face when we go out into public and things like that, so that our droplets don't get on other people. But working to keep the liver strong and clear, that is where your telomere cells are developed. And so that milk thistle helps to protect the liver. There's a bunch of other elements that are in that process, but the number one is milk thistle. And then what I found with this particular antioxidant, which again, antioxidants help to prevent rust. Okay, it helps to prevent chips from being taken out of your cells. That's what that's about. It's protecting your cells. protecting your cells. A healthy cell produces a healthy cell. So that's why protecting your telomeres and protecting your liver, all of these things come together. Protecting your immune system, keeping your system clear of trash by keeping a clean colon, populating your small intestines with friendly bacteria, probiotics. That's what that is. Those are the good guys. The good guys don't kill the bad guys. The good guys crowd out the bad bacteria so it can't overgrow and proliferate. And just grow out of control. When your Candida albicans are in your intestinal tract all the time, but they're supposed to be at a low number of less than 20% of the overall bacteria makeup in your intestinal tract. It's when with sugar, caffeine, and dead food that allows the killing of friendly bacteria in your intestinal tract and the proliferation. Boy, does yeast love sugar. Love sugar. Caffeine kills the bad bacteria, the good bacteria, and allows the bad bacteria to grow out of control. Antibiotics do a full sweep, kills the good and the bad. And it's very, very important after you've had a course of antibiotics to get into some good probiotics and put that back into your system. Be very careful of using dairy products for that, particularly if you're African American, if you're Asian or Hispanic. We do not make the enzyme that breaks down milk sugar. That is not based on 1%, 2%, or whole. That's milk fat. What we don't process is the milk sugar. So this is a time where avoiding dairy is very important. It is mucus forming in your body because you lack the enzyme that you need in order to properly break it down. So your body sees it as an enemy, and the way it attacks is mucus. Sugar is another one. Sugar stunts your immune system. And so, and once again, when it takes that hit, it causes mucus. And so when that happens, now your immune system is all challenged. Remember, excess mucus is your enemy. Excess inflammation is your enemy. So sugar and excess dairy actually contribute to inflammation in your body. And so we want to be able to cut those things back. Green leafy vegetables, whole fruit versus fruit juice. See, the thing about whole fruit is you have the fiber. It slows down how fast the sugar enters your bloodstream. So whole fruit is better than juiced fruit, okay? If you do juice fruit, you want a glass. What's the tiniest glass in a set of glasses? It's the juice glass. So those of you who gone juicing crazy, watch it. Do not juice more than you would eat in a setting. In other words, if you would not sit and consume 5 pounds of carrots in 1 or 2 settings, do not juice 5 pounds of carrots and now drink all of that juice. You make enough juice to last you 2 to 3 days. That's where the nutrient levels are fully potent, okay? And you use the tiniest glass in a set of glasses, which is the juice glass, which is generally about 2 ounces. It's a small glass. That's how much juice you should be drinking. Okay, vegetable juices, a lot less sugar. And so if you're doing the green drinks, throwing in that kale and cucumber and that kind of thing, you can have more of that because it's not going to jack your blood sugar and throw you out of balance. Now be careful because it's going to detox you. You're going to go to the bathroom. That's not diarrhea. That's mucus leaving your system. But just know it can be strong and work maybe a little bit better than you bargained for. But the bottom line, folks, is you want to make sure that your system is as clean as possible, as hydrated. Drink, 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 drink. Not caffeine-based things. That even means something like green tea. Anything that has caffeine in it is a diuretic. It takes water out of your body. So I found a lavender chamomile. I love this particular night before I go to sleep. A lot of us, because we are quarantined, we're sleeping a lot during the day, and that's throwing your sleep cycle off at night. That happens. Now you're not resting. Understand, every human body to survive needs 3 things and then 4. Air, water, rest. Food is 4th, okay? You know, you last just a couple of minutes without air. You only last a few days without water. And guess what? You go absolutely insane without rest. So, but some of us are resting too much during the day and we're not getting our correct sleep at night. So that means during the day, resist the urge to sleep too much and take too much. One nap is good, but resist the urge to lay around and stay in the bed and catnap all day because it messes up your sleep at night. And lack of rest depresses your immune system and it will make you sick. Forget COVID. It makes you more susceptible to colds and things like that. If you are having, because of stress, you're having trouble sleep because you're worrying, okay, number 1, you know, is prayer. Take it to the Lord in prayer. But secondly, it is things like teas like this. This is a lavender and chamomile. It's very calming. Chamomile and lavender are called nervine herbs. So they're very, very calming. This is really good for a fussy baby. A little bit and a little bit of tea in the bottle. And you talk about somebody, and the chamomile is really, really good for the tummy. So if they have gas or anything like that, it helps them to expel it. Also, sprays that have a little melatonin are really, really good. You can, everybody's sensitivity is different, a 1 milligram one or a 3 milligram one. Just know the stronger ones, you will dream in color, let me tell you. But it's a good night's rest. I do this spray under my tongue with a 20-gram protein shake at night. Gives you a flat tummy. Want no more? Holla at your girl. Just, DM me. We can have that conversation. So, air, water, rest, healthy food, non-mucus forming foods. Keep the sweets, the junk food, the chips, and all of that at a minimum. We can come out of this quarantine fit and fine, fabulous, and healthy, strong, and ready to jumpstart our lives, start off our new normal in a better, healthier, stronger body. So I hope that you have enjoyed this time and this session for our Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to be back next Wednesday. We're going to talk more about blood sugar and how to get that under control. You're going to watch Miss Julie, your plain English herbalist, beat this thing called diabetes and come out skinny, fabulous, sugar regulated, and all of that with diet, with exercise, never to see insulin again, never to see diabetic medication again. If you want to join me on this journey, hey, message me, let me know. I want to join the journey of getting my sugar right too. And let's do it together. It helps me stay accountable, it helps me to be good, knowing that I got somebody to do this thing with and take this journey with. So just let me know if you have any questions that I can answer on our next visit. Again, just message me or email me at Miss Julie, MISSJULIE 436@gmail.com, and I can get your questions answered and help you get on the road to healthier living. That's where I am. That's where I want to be with you. And I just thank you so much for joining me this evening, and I'll see you next time.